Hello everybody and welcome to LELB Society. This is Dr. Hariri, and in this video I'm gonna actually start a series of videos published in our YouTube channel LELB Society with the same title. Under the title of I'm gonna create a playlist for that entitled Dr. Hariri's Lectures. And in this series of or playlist or category, I'm going to give presentations in English and also Farsi, which is my mother tongue, on a variety of interesting topics, and most of which are going to be about teaching Farsi and English, because actually LELB Society is a bilingual academy of English and Persian. And the first time I'm going to give a presentation on CBI. I've selected this topic. I've written an article and I'm going to share its link down below, and it is free for everybody, so you don't need to have an account at the LELB Society to study this this lesson, this article. And actually the CBI stands for Content-Based Instruction, and Content-Based Instruction is a teaching, let's say, approach in which we prioritize the topics and themes that we are going to use in our teachings. And back in 2015, when we started the LELB Society, from even early childhood of LELB Society, we have been using CBI meticulously, very carefully, because we believe in that. And the students actually need to be motivated in learning second languages, in English and Persian, no difference. And one of the best ways to improve and to enhance their motivation is through interesting, useful topics. So I'm going to use my notes here. I already gave you a very overall overview of what CBI is. So CBI is the employment of interesting topics, as I said. And the majority of the students are attracted to those topics. And therefore they can enjoy a lot. They can enjoy the process of learning. The process of learning will become more natural. And the majority of our English and Persian students, automatically, we have noticed that they forget that they are learning a second language. And this is really, when it happens, you should call yourself a successful language teacher. And also, it becomes, learning would become more meaningful, deeper and more meaningful, because of the fact that you are adding flesh to the skeleton of language learning. It's not just a matter of form or a couple of vocabulary items or grammar rules. No, there is much more behind that, and that is also in my idea, more important than the form. Of course, it depends on the needs of the language learner. So how to implement and employ CBI? It is important to note that CBI can easily be employed in language classes, particularly thanks to the availability of online materials, online sources on the internet. And these days, you don't have any problem finding various topics. And so you could use this chance to the benefit of your students and also yourself as a teacher. And however, it's very significant for you as a language teacher and also for your students not to impose the topics on your students, because this is not democratic at all. When it comes to democracy in education, you need to just negotiate even the curriculum and select the topics. So we call it negotiated curriculum. It means that the curriculum, including the assigned topics, should also be negotiated between the teacher and the students. And do not say that, okay, for the next session, certainly study something about this topic, while that topic is not that useful for the majority of the students in that particular class. So we need to pay attention to this important point. And how can you just solicit or ask for their feedback? At LELB Society, we use a variety of venues and places. For example, we use our forums. On the menu, you can see at LELB.net, you can actually, on the menu, you can see the classified forums. And our students actually could just go to the feedback forum and express their opinions freely, and we are going to just reply to all of the, let's say, responses and replies. And the other one is our installed live chat, of course, only accessible to our logged in members. You cannot see the live chat unless you are logged in and you have a registered account. And also our discussion boards or forums and the other atmosphere or place where we can just discuss or decide on the selected topics is the comment form at the bottom of each post. At LELB Society, if you just go to the menu and comment section, you will see that we have over 4,000 lessons in English, in both English and Persian, and also over 5,000 comments interactively, in a very interactive and integrated manner. And it shows that at least for each lesson we have one comment, at least. And it shows that the materials actually, or the atmosphere of LELB Society is quite interactive by nature. And the students actually ask us and we respond to them, and even actually they ask each other. And this is really good. For example, if they don't like a topic, okay, they could just veto that. They say that, okay, this topic is not that useful, it's not good for us, and we are not learning something else apart from English. So it's very important for your students actually to learn something else apart from English or Persian, and we do our best to achieve this fulfillment. And so let me see. But it's not that easy for language teachers employing CBI. You know why? It's clear because, a language learner, a language teacher who employs CBI should be a double expert. It means that the teacher should be expert in the language they teach, and also they should acquire enough knowledge and expertise in the field they are teaching. For example, if I'm teaching something, a psychological topic, for instance, how to overcome depression, how to get away from depression. So I need to acquire some information because your students are going to ask you some questions, and in order to avoid any kind of embarrassment, if they ask you some questions and if you don't know, it's not that good, and I bet you don't like this to happen to you. So you need to, before the class actually, you need to get some information about depression and antidepressing activities and techniques to just make you happier in life, and everything that is related to that and to the topic of depression. So at LELB Society, we have a pillar technique, let's say. It's very important, and it's one of the building blocks of our academic and educational activities, and I have called it Roundtable. It's based on flipped learning because actually flipped learning is another, let's say, ingredients of LELB Society and building blocks, and we assign topics before the class asynchronously via the live chat and discussion boards and comment forums, and the students actually access the lesson via link or actually the communication channels, and they study that, then they watch the video embedded in that lesson, and then they ask each other in the asynchronously in the asynchronous communication channels, actually, for example, forums, common forums. They ask each other questions about the topic and also the video. And in the class, synchronously in our live classes, we just focus on the questions and replies and responses. And therefore, the class will become really beneficial to the students. And the students are completely aware and conscious about the topic, and they have gathered enough information, and the topics actually are really interesting to them, because already we go through a kind of, as I said, negotiated curriculum. And so this way we have two types of motivation, intrinsic and extrinsic. When it comes to teaching English or Persian to adults, intrinsic motivation is much more important, because actually it is more profound, it is deeper, it is a deeper type of motivation. The students actually do not feel any external push or force. They voluntarily want to learn actually this target language. And CBI is very helpful to increase and augment the level of intrinsic motivation in learners. So make sure that when you just put CBI to use and put it into practice in your language classes, your students will become more intrinsically motivated. And of course, as I said, it should be democratically practiced. It means that choose topics that just satisfy the majority of your students, not just the minority of them. And you should put your students first, and otherwise it has negative effects. And the other point is, let me see, if your students become intrinsically motivated, they are ready to immerse themselves in English. It means they read a lot all the time, they watch documentaries, they listen to actually news and songs. So they expose themselves to the target language to the fullest degree or extent, which is really good news. And also about the correlation between CBI and flipped learning. So as I said, flipped learning is a combination of synchronous and asynchronous learning. And here at LELB Society, actually holding online classes is one of the minor approaches of education, because the main part of learning happens to you and to our students and also to us asynchronously. It means before and after classes. So it's very significant for our students actually to be interested in the topics. Otherwise, they are not motivated enough to just carry out studying, to continue studying, and to get some information, process the information, and to share it collaboratively with their students, with the classmates. So it's very important for them to be interested, to love the topics, you know. And therefore, you need to, as I said, go through that negotiated curriculum to make sure that the students actually, that the topics appeal to the students. And also, as I said, in order to just find and choose the topics that are interesting enough, you need to ask for your students' feedback. Remember, it's very important. Sometimes the students actually are not perhaps educated enough to express their opinions freely, and they say, oh, no, please, you choose a topic. And I have learned in experience that it's better for you to really ask them or involve them in the process of selecting mindfully and selecting wise choices, you know, making wise choices on the topics. And because this way they feel more committed, they have more commitment to just getting to gather information, processing information, and also going through all kinds of necessary activities in the synchronous classes and also asynchronously in the channels of communication, for example, forums, comment forums, live chats, and so on and so forth. Okay, we come to the end of this presentation on CBI, or Content-Based Instruction. This is the first video in this series, and I try to make better videos in the future, actually more prepared. This was the first time I've learned not to be so perfectionistic in anything, because actually when you become perfectionistic, actually it's very difficult for you to start anything. Okay, thank you very much for your attention. If you're interested in our pursuit and activities at LELB Society, you just need to visit our website at lelb.net. You can also join our group and team, or actually if you're interested to learn Persian or English academically and also enjoyably, communicatively and interactively, everything is on free trial. You can visit our website and contact us for a free trial, either in the form of, or let's say, synchronous classes, live classes, or asynchronously through monthly subscription. Thank you so much for your attention, and take care of yourself, and see you in our next video. Bye bye, everybody.